This dock, it just shakes like this.
I like working for friends and family. It's teamwork. It's that real cottage vibe where everyone just pitches in, gets it done, and then we go and have fun.
Wow, isn't that fantastic?
Oh, thank you. What? I'm Colin Hunter. I'm a contractor who's fixing up cottage country one deck, dock, and gazebo at a time. My job is to get the build done on time so people can kick back and have fun at their cottage. Today we're on Oak Lake in Havelock, Ontario with a family that is just crazy about having fun on the water.
Water skiing has always just been part of our lives. I've water skied for years, and so therefore both my kids have always water skied as well, and we just love it.
The kids come up a lot with their friends here. They make a weekend out of it.
So, John.
This year they bought a brand new boat to handle all those extra skiers. The problem is their dock is dead in the water.
The dock was built before the cottage, so 33 years ago we put the cement in, and the floating dock has worked well, but with the tires they sink way too much.
There used to be two docks here, and they could pull the boat up right in between them.
My father was the one that actually built the second dock. The old dock was on poles, and last winter it just totally disintegrated. It was a disaster. We need the docks now because the new boat really needs to be protected.
This project is really special to me because the Venus family are the people that taught me how to water ski and wakeboard. Building them a brand new dock seems like the perfect way to pay them back.
Colin's been part of our lives for years. He was one of my son's best friends, and so Colin would always be part of the group.
I've known Colin since I was about 13. We had a lot of fun during high school.
The Venuses are kind of like my second parents, so they put up with me and brought me up here, took us water skiing before I had gas money to pitch in and stuff. See, Rob in the past has helped me with many things. Could you please shine that on my chin a bit better? I have the plan and the equipment, but the Venus family is going to provide the muscle power. When we're done, it's going to be amazing.
Colin's always a fun person to be around. I'm looking forward to the very, very best, but if he doesn't, I'll be after him and my son to make sure everything's perfect.
Nice being back at Oak Lake.
It is. We definitely have continued to enjoy it. But we've got lots of challenges lately.
Oh, the winter hasn't fared too well on the old docks, has it?
No, not really. The second dock actually went out this winter with the ice, so we need a full new dock.
Yeah.
You know, there's always a group of people here. Both Rob and Cheryl are always bringing 20 people up.
Yeah.
And so we want to have enough room for furniture. I never seem to have that. I'm getting old, and this dock, it just shakes like this all the
I
time.
remember when I started coming up here in grade 5 or whatever, you know, you get 5 or 6 of us out there and it starts getting a little low.
It goes right under now.
Yeah. Barb and the family have one special request for the new dock. Their boat is brand new and they want to keep it looking that way. Right now that means snapping on and off a pair of covers every time they use it. I've got a better idea. So you want to do like maybe a covered slip to like, so you just drive in and it's got some coverage?
Yes, that would be fantastic. Yeah.
Awesome. Here's what I'm going to do. Along the shore, we'll build a proper crib dock out of rocks and heavy timbers so that we'll have something heavy and stable to attach everything to. Then a pair of 5-foot ramps will lead out to a pair of floating docks. The cherry on top will be a removable sunshade that hinges as the waves come along. We're combining two different types of docks, floating and fixed. The floating docks come from a company called Pipe Fusion. They come in a kit and we're gonna put them together ourselves. I went to the factory and saw how they fuse the big black pipes that keep the docks afloat. I spoke with the experts about how to attach the decking to the pontoons. So when the pieces arrive, the Venus family and I will know exactly how to build them. Just as the Amish would have an Amish barn raising, we're gonna have a dock raising. The Venus cottage is on a hill. That creates two problems. One, we need flat ground to put the docks together, and two, we need a place to launch them gently into the water. You got them marked out? Sweet. With this project, we're really trying to take some time and plan it out properly. It's easy to paint yourself in a corner by building the dock in a location that will be hard to transport or move or get it out of the garage after it doesn't fit through the door, you know. So we're just trying to do it to streamline the process. We were thinking about building the entire thing in the water.
Yeah.
But then we were worried about
It bouncing around and being totally unstable. We thought of building a boat ramp on the far side of the lake, and then that's too far a tow. Plus, we're gonna, be there for hours and tie up their boat ramp.
In the end, we've decided to rely on the kindness of some neighbors. We can build the docks on their property and then float them across to the Venus cottage. This means loading everything up and driving it around the lake. Strongman competition. You know, work trucks are for work. If they get banged up in the process, it's just part of the deal. Just kidding. With my trailer loaded up, I'm gonna drive around to the neighbor's boat launch. Rob and his girlfriend, meanwhile, are taking the scenic route with a few of the extra pieces. Hey, what took so long, pal?
Hey, the boat wouldn't start. It was a nice gondola ride.
Ooh, lucky girl. All right, this is the flattest spot on the lot, so I'm actually parked on it. I'm gonna move out of the way. Now that we've got a place to work, there's one last thing to check. When it's fully assembled, our dock is gonna be 10 feet wide. The boat ramp is only 8. Brian, you know the old circle and a square peg thing, right?
Yeah.
You sure this dock's gonna fit down there?
I don't know. Think we should check?
Probably should before we build it, right?
Check. Didn't we try everything else? Make sure it worked?
We're on Oak Lake in Havelock, Ontario at the Venus family cottage. They are crazy about water skiing. In fact, they're the people that taught me how to ski when I was just a kid. That was a long time ago, and their old dock just isn't up to snuff anymore.
Floating dock has worked well, but with the tires, they sink way too much.
I'm gonna build a pair of new floating docks and attach them to a new crib dock that we'll build along the shore. They'll be able to pull their brand new ski boat in between the two floaters. I'm even gonna put up a sunshade so that they don't have to keep covering and uncovering their boat. And that means more time for water skiing.
Right now, we're double covering it every weekend and every night. We really want to keep it clean.
So far, the hardest part of the job has been finding a place to assemble the floaters. Our solution is to use a neighbor's yard, and once we're finished, we'll launch the docks from their boat ramp, if they'll fit. You sure this dock's gonna fit down there?
I don't know. Think we should check?
Probably should before we build it, right?
Check.
Oh, we got more than enough room.
10 feet?
Yep, just some light foliage moved out of the way and we're set to go.
Okay.
All right, let's build this. One of the tricky parts about building these pipe fusion docks is attaching a straight piece of lumber to a round polyethylene pipe. Keeping everything at right angles is critical. And for that, Brian has built his own drilling template out of some scrap wood.
So that keeps the top of the float square, and then the 2x6 goes in here. We roll the float over, we're tight, I clamp it, Cheryl drills.
Well, we're gonna try and get a job for everybody as we start assembling. So one person will be holding the jig, one person will be drilling, one person will be installing bolts, another person tightens them, and then we just got a few people around to, we need this, and then they can toss it in. So we're gonna have over manpower, which should make it go pretty quick.
Once I figure out how to do something like the jig and stuff like that, then away we go.
Last nut. Now down to the water.
And I hope he measured this right. Ay, ay, ay.
1, 2, 3, heave! Can hardly feel this.
I was nervous about getting it down the driveway, but Colin, of course, is the eternal optimist, so he said, no problem, it'll fit.
All right. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't want to launch the contractors, we want to launch the dock. Whoa, whoa. Let's put these on top of the pontoons to block the sun.
Yeah.
These polyethylene pipes are really temperamental with the heat and the sun. So that's actually let it bend up a little bit. We can see it's out by about 3/4 of an inch. So how are we gonna deal with that? We're gonna run the hose, spray it down, cool it down, get our first few deck boards on, and that'll lock everything in place. That's it. Okay, now that we've got our pontoons nice and straight, we've got this thing squared up, it's time to start the decking. With a project like this, working with so many people, doing so many different things at once, it's inevitable that something gets missed.
In the process of getting the dock over here and getting 16 boards on it and figuring out how we're going to put them on, and because you have to straighten them out when you screw them down, and then we just got motoring and just boarded right over the anchor ports.
With a floating dock, you need to be able to reach the cleats where the anchors tie up. That way you can adjust them as the water level rises and lowers.
And we have a history of doing a lot of things twice. Everybody knows that's my history.
So it looks like we'll have to add a little creative carpentry to our to-do list. The Venus family loves water skiing, and this year they bought a brand new ski boat. Problem is, they have a rotten old dock to tie it up to. There isn't enough room to sit, and there's no protection for the boat. We're gonna fix all those problems with a crib dock attached to the shore, some ramps, 2 floating docks, and a canopy. We started by assembling the floaters, but after we put on the decking, we discovered a problem.
We just got motoring and just boarded right over the anchor ports.
These docks float, so they need to have anchors holding them in place. As the lake level rises and falls over the course of the year, you need to be able to reach the cleats to adjust the length of the lines.
We just measured it and cut it out with the skill saw. There's the cleat.
Up next is the wet work, building a crib for the shore dock. Crib docks are an old solution to a dock. I feel like a settler every time I build a crib dock, because crib docks are basically, a lot of them are still around. The original timbers below water are still around from when people did them in like the 1920s and stuff. So the trickiest part of crib work is leveling everything up. So we're going to try and start and get our cribs somewhat level, and then we'll have to shim them as we go up, just so that by the time we get to the top where we're going to sit our beams and joists, we want them to be nice and straight across that top portion. I'm going to build it on shore, pick it up together, and just drop it in. This is basically what's going on under the water over there. There's a bunch of stones, and they're kind of tapering their way up like this. This one is set, and we're going to start building the next one. It's more hard work than smart work. It's been a long day building the cribs and then the frame that will support the shore dock. But before we can start decking, we have a little structural detail we have to attend to. We have to beef up and back up the spots which the floating ramps are going to attach to. I'm gonna reinforce anywhere that the dock hinges are gonna go. We're giving ourselves a bit of leeway. So I'm cutting 2 foot to 3 foot 2x8s to mount to the beam directly. And then we're gonna just have some spacer blocks for the skirt board in between where we're not mounting the docks. And that allows us to decide where the best location for the boat slip is. Dude, that's mint. Oh, dude, that's perfect. That's way too straight. Decking is really like doing a jigsaw puzzle, except the pieces are all the same color, and if you're lucky, they're all straight. While my crew and I are decking the crib dock, the Venus family is hard at work putting together the second floating dock. And this time, they better remember to cut out the anchor ports. So we've got our docks built. We've just got a few little touch-up last pieces to do on the shore dock. We're working on the ramps, putting the pontoons on it, and then we're getting the decking on them. The whole thing's gonna get assembled, and then we gotta get the canopy on it. Although this looks like chocolate milk, it's actually end cut. So when you expose the pressure treated lumber after a cut, you have to put this stuff on so that it doesn't rot quickly. It's a step that'll make your deck last a lot longer.
Colin, you want some help in the water?
I certainly would. You know, no respect. You kids got no respect.
Old McDonald had a farm. Woo!
Brian, there's still one thing that we need. The cover for the boat slip.
The cover for the boat slip. Where's that? Upstairs?
It's up there, but we got to build a frame for it.
Oh yeah, okay. And you got the frame. You got it all figured out?
I got the frame figured out, but figuring it out and actually building it are two completely different things. Barb's gonna be back around dinner time, and I'd love to have the water ski dock of her dreams all finished up by the time she gets here. This week, I've been working at the Venus family cottage. They're old family friends of mine. In fact, they're the folks that taught me how to water ski when I was a kid. Now I'm almost done building them the ultimate water ski dock. All I need to do is build the hinged frame and attach the sunshade. So we're getting close, we got the docks in place. All we have to do now is the structure for the canopy, but we're running a little bit behind. We had a little bit too much fun today. So we're finding another way to trick Barb into delaying. So she's gonna have to go and pick up her boat. We were unable to do it for one reason or another. That's her job.
It's gonna be really cool to see Barb's reaction when she comes around, you know, and sees this whole canopy, etc. in place. It's gonna be quite special.
I'll just do the feet real quick. It'll take me 5 minutes and I'll bolt it down. Then we don't have to worry about it blowing away or getting ruined. 1 week ago, the Venus family dock was an eyesore. It was narrow, weathered, and sinking. It was a nightmare for water skiing. It had no room for Barb to have her morning coffee on, and there was no protection for the new boat.
Wow, isn't that fantastic? It looks like it's done.
Hey,
Hi,
Barb.
Colin. Wow, is this ever fantastic? Ah, I gotta do it.
It's perfect. Totally correct. How's it going?
Great. Look at this, though.
Look at that docking job, actually.
And it looks sturdy, fine.
It's pretty sturdy.
You're not wobbly.
No,
You can stand out.
yeah, come on out.
Look at this.
Yeah, it's a lot more real estate than you used to have.
This is fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much.
Came this afternoon and it was absolutely gorgeous. This great big canopy and the beautiful dock. I was absolutely flabbergasted.
And have a step on this. Feel how sturdy this is. It's all cribs and beams and rocks.
The cribs look good. I love this scalding. How did you do that?
We wanted to keep a little gap so the water would run under, but other than that, we kept it as tight as we could.
So this is on cribs,
Yep.
and then this is good for winter and ice and everything because it floats?
Yeah, these docks you can leave in. You just have to unhook them, throw an anchor out, and then throw a line to shore.
I've got everything I wanted. The floats are fantastic. The dock is humongous, and it's just gorgeous. Can you imagine me being able to sit and have my coffee there, or go out to the end of the dock, dive, or watch the stars at night? It'll be great. I can finally just drive in, park this boat, and enjoy myself. Isn't that fantastic? I don't even have to cover it every night.
Now you'll be boating every day.
This is fantastic.
Oh, thank you. What?
What?
Well, maybe I didn't do it all by myself.
Just that's it, buddy.
Wow, you friends! I am your friend! Oh, yeah?